Happy Monday morning to you, everybody. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day to join me for our Final Expense Monthly Monday. Today is Monday, February 3rd, 2020. We're 1 month in to the new year. Where are we standing right now? How are things going for you? Is 2020 starting to be a good year for you? If not, we can certainly make some adjustments, make some changes to make sure that 2020 finishes out strong. So we're not too far into the weeds just yet. Importantly, I wanted to remind everybody that yesterday was Groundhog's Day, besides being Super Bowl Sunday, and the groundhog predicted an early spring. If you're like me, I'm not a winter person, so spring is always a welcome change in my book. So here on our Final Expense Monthly Monday, this is where Final Expense agents, whether you are new to the business or you're considering getting into the business, this is where we gather once a month, the first working Monday of every month, that we discuss Final Expense, update you on different carriers, give you some sales tips, and just kind of keep you in the loop of what's going on in the senior life marketplace. So let me go through our agenda for today's presentation. Give me a second here. For whatever reason, my slides are not changing. Bear with me here. You know, computers are great when they work, but they're not when they don't. Bear with me. Okay, I think we're in business now. So here is our agenda for today's presentation. For those of you who are brand new to URL, I do want to introduce you to our Final Expense sales platform and what we do here. We'll also discuss the lead program and how we subsidize your lead costs based on your production. We'll get into that in more details. We'll also discuss how to get started. If you're not doing Final Expense sales, we'll discuss how you can get started. We'll talk about some news and updates that are going on in the Final Expense marketplace specifically. We'll also highlight a company, the company of the month. We'll provide you sales tips. We have some agent bonuses and incentives to discuss. And then, of course, if you do have any questions, you can type your questions and we can get those questions answered for you at the end of the call today. And then, of course, I will be following up with you to see what I can do to help you and answer any questions that you have here in the coming days. So here at URL, we have what we call our Final Expense sales vision. It's the 2020 vision in Final Expense sales. When you partner with URL, we basically grant you or give you access to a whole bunch of materials basically for free. You have access to sales materials that include scripts like how to book appointments, what to say when you're on an appointment, how to close a sale. We have access to agent guides, underwriting guides, the online quoting system. We have a turnkey marketing program. This is designed specifically for Medicare producers, but it does work and kind of crosses over to other areas like P&C and some other marketplaces as well. When you work with us, you have access to exclusive webinars, seminars, and other one-on-one training that we do here. We have consumer materials like brochures, Final Expense memorial books. We have different letters and a whole lot of other materials there. We have numerous lead resources. And then we subsidize your lead costs based on your production. You'll see we have a fairly large portfolio of Final Expense carriers. We're always looking at different companies to add so that we can help you stay competitive in the very competitive Final Expense marketplace. And while it is competitive, it's also one of the fastest growing segments of the life insurance industry. We can get into that and get into the woods on that a little at some other time. But you'll see that we have a list of carriers here that help you stay competitive in the final expense marketplace. We have carriers that offer guaranteed issue plans, as well as level benefit plans for people who are in decent health. And when you're talking about final expense sales, you're talking about life insurance plans that are designed with seniors in mind. So seniors do have some pre-existing medical conditions like heart problems, cancer, they may have had a stroke, high blood pressure, diabetes, the list goes on and on. And we have so many different carriers that we can try to find some carriers that are going to provide the client the best coverage for their premium dollar. How do you know who's going to be the best carrier? If you're dealing with somebody that's relatively healthy and you want to have rates at your fingertips, we do have a final expense quote engine right on our website at urlinsgroup.com/Aries. If you go to Life Markets Quoting Tools, you'll see the second option is final expense. You click on that link on the left-hand side. I know it's blurry on your screen. You would put in your client's information, the state of the sale, the client's date of birth, male or female, if they use any tobacco products, and then the amount of coverage. And of course, you want to try to get the client into a level benefit plan if at all possible. You do not have to put anything in the access key, and then you just click Get Quotes Now. Now, this is for the state of Pennsylvania on the right-hand side, and you'll see that the website does the price shopping for you. But you may not be contracted with all of these carriers, so you want to zero in on a carrier that you are contracted with. This is not a consumer-friendly quote engine. This is a quote engine that basically allows you to have access to some rates quickly without having to log into each specific carrier's website and then running the quotes there. This does it all for you. This has policy fees. It has everything broken. It's already built into the rate. So the rate that you're quoting on our website is the rate that the client will pay if they get that policy. So that's our final expense quote engine. One of the things that you need to realize if you're not already heavily involved in the final expense marketplace is that you need to have leads. Leads are the lifeblood of this particular segment of the life insurance industry. And either you have leads and you work leads, or you have to do some really good cross-selling and cross-marketing to your existing clients. You can do your own marketing, you can send out your own letters and stuff, and you can get lead lists. But here's just a list of some of the vendors that we work with for leads. One of the things that I will highly recommend is that you work with a lead company that provides exclusive leads. All of these lead vendors that we have provide you with exclusive leads. What are exclusive leads? These are leads that are going directly to you. They're not leads that are going and being distributed between you and a couple of other people in your area, where you're basically in a competition with that other person and who's going to get in front of that person and who's going to contact that person quicker, because the fastest person is probably going to get the sale. So we have leads that are providing you exclusive leads, and you get to choose the territories that you want to work. You don't need to work a bunch of different states or a bunch of different counties. Usually you want to give the lead vendor about 3 or 4 counties that you want to work. So let me break down these lead choices. We have direct mail. These are exclusive, and it's about $460 to $500 for a 1,000-piece mailer. You're probably looking at about a 1.5% to 2% response, and it really depends on the areas that you're targeting. So you would give them either a list of counties. You can do it by zip codes as well. There's also another lead vendor that we work with that does what they call guaranteed response leads, meaning if you're looking to get 20 leads, they will do enough mailers to guarantee that you're going to get a minimum of 20 leads. You may be getting 25 leads or 30 leads, even though you've ordered 20. They are $32 to $35 a piece, 20 lead minimum order. But again, if you do get more than the 20 leads that you request, you are obligated to buy them. So the other thing to point out about with direct mail, postage did go up on the 22nd of January. So prices for some of these mailers are going up, and they're kind of increasing there. But $460 to $500 is the average range there. We do have what we call verified teleleads. This is probably your fastest turnaround, where direct mail, it's generally about a 2 to 3 week turnaround time from when you order it to when you start getting leads. With verified teleleads, usually within about 48 hours, you'll start seeing leads coming in. They're $25 a lead, 10 lead minimum order. With the verified teleleads, you're going to give them a minimum of 3 counties that you want to work. Again, these are exclusive, and the verified telelead company, they verify that the person is interested in speaking to somebody about life insurance. They verify their contact information. They verify the amount of coverage that the person would be interested in getting, and they verify who their beneficiary would be. So when you call the person, after you get the lead, and usually you're notified of that lead within 10 to 15 minutes of that phone call, you'll want to call that client to set up an appointment to meet with them. You can do sales over the phone if you so choose. But with the verified teleleads, the person should be expecting your call, and they should be knowing, they should also expect that this is in regards to life insurance, so that the person is not confused there. They give you a list of the name of the person that spoke to them as well. There's also Facebook leads that right now they're about $30 a lead, 20 lead minimum order. We're looking at trying to get that cost cut in half, so stay tuned for that. And then we also have basic teleleads. The basic teleleads is similar to the verified teleleads. They are much cheaper. The difference between verified teleleads and the basic teleleads is that verified teleleads, they are based in the United States, so they already have a command of the English language. Where basic teleleads, they have a basic command of the English language. However, the calls do not originate from the United States. Although it'll come up on caller ID as a call from the United States, the basic teleleads, they could be anywhere in the world. So that's the difference between those two lead options. Now, as we're talking about different prices that you would have to pay, I also want you to know that we subsidize your lead costs. And one of the things that I do want to point out, URL does not make any money on the sale of leads. We make money when you make money, when you sell a life insurance policy. So we like to give back, and we try to facilitate you to get in front of more people to make more sales. And one of the ways to do that is through our lead subsidies. If you are a Gemini partner, and Gemini partners, basically, to give you a real quick overview of what our Gemini partnership is all about, it's where you consolidate all of your business with URL. We give you $80 for every $1,000 of paid annualized final expense premium. So if you did $5,000 in the month of January, you're going to have a $400 lead credit. Now, we understand that there are certain situations where you cannot consolidate all of your business. We understand that, and we respect that. We still want to subsidize your lead costs. So we just give you $50 for every $1,000 of paid annualized final expense premium. So that means that you would get a $250 lead credit if you did $5,000 in annualized premium. Now, with the lead subsidies, you can utilize one of our lead vendors, or you can use a lead vendor of your choice. It is entirely up to you. At the beginning of each month, I look at the previous month's production, and then I notify you of your lead credit. So that's kind of our lead subsidy program. If you do have questions, feel free to ask those questions. I'll be happy to get that answered for you. Moving along. So how do you get started in selling final expense? It's really as easy as 1, 2, 3. The first step is to select the carriers that you want to represent. And I can help you with selecting carriers, who the core carriers are, who's easiest to do business, who has the easiest underwriting, whatever it is that you're looking for. If you're looking for a company that does telesales, it's whatever carriers you want to pick. So select the carriers and then submit your contracting. Now, for those of you who have already submitted contracting to URL, all you need to do is select the carriers. We already have your contract on file. I just need to notify our licensing department of the companies you want to get contracted with. And then the third step is to order the leads. So select your carriers, submit your contracting, and then order leads. If you haven't done business with us in the last 2 years, or you are brand new to URL altogether, we do have a final expense fresh start bonus. We started this last year and we've continued it into this year. So for the first 2 months of working with us, we're going to give you an extra $25 per placed final expense application. You have to be new to URL, like I said, or you haven't done final expense business with us in the last 2 years. The minimum premium to qualify is $500 annualized premium. And the nice thing about this bonus is that you can still qualify for our lead subsidy. So you're basically able to double dip. So it's business that you've placed, final expense business that you've placed with us in the first 2 months. $500 minimum annualized premium is what qualifies for that application to receive an additional bonus, and you still can qualify for our lead subsidy. So that is our final expense fresh start bonus. So let's go into news and updates. So as we're 1 month into the new year, let's take a look at some of the carriers and some of the updates that are going on. The first is Foresters. They have a new plan. It's the Plan Right Final Expense. They have revised their rates significantly. They have become very competitive in the final expense marketplace again. They've always been a very one of our core carriers in final expense. Now, one of the things I will point out is while they have competitive rates, their smoker rates have a significant increase. They've basically put themselves in a position where they really don't want the tobacco user, but they are diabetic friendly. What do I mean by that? The client can have diabetes. It doesn't matter if when they had diabetes, they're only looking for complications associated with diabetes. So they are extremely diabetic friendly. A lot of other companies will ask of the age of onset of diabetes, whether it was age 20 or 30 or before 40 or before 50. Foresters doesn't care. They don't ask that question. They just want to make sure that the client does not have any complications that are associated with diabetes. So they also have new rate classes. So they have a preferred, a standard, and a basic rate class. So preferred and standard are both level benefit plans. Preferred has the best rates, standard is slightly higher, and then basic is their graded or modified death benefit where the client has to live beyond 2 years for the beneficiary to get the full benefit. So preferred, standard, and basic. That is the new Foresters Plan Right, and the new rates are reflecting on our final expense quote engine. The next one is Transamerica. Transamerica at the beginning of December rolled out their new immediate solution final expense whole life plan. There are new rates, there are new applications, and some underwriting changes. And I will tell you, it has been a slow transition. They've basically made it difficult for you to get applications or submit e-applications. So I do have some workarounds up my sleeve. I am trying and pleading with them to make some changes and kind of make it so that it's not difficult to work with them. So Transamerica, they do have some really good rates. They're very relaxed on underwriting, like for somebody that has COPD, but they're not on oxygen, or somebody that may have AFib. They're good with that as well. So that's the immediate solution final expense plan. They have a new rate, new applications, some underwriting changes. It has been slow, but instead of trying to go to bat or to go to battle with Transamerica Direct, put us to work for you. We will help you, and we will find a workaround solution to help minimize any of those frustrations. So for the month of February, we have our company spotlight, and that's Oxford Life. Oxford has been one of our core companies. And if you ever look at their rates on our quote engine, you will find that their rates are extremely competitive. But a lot of people are like, well, who is Oxford? Well, most people haven't heard of Oxford Life, but most people, if not everybody, has heard of U-Haul. You can't drive on the turnpike or on any of the expressways or highways without seeing a U-Haul truck at some point. So the parent company is U-Haul. Now, Oxford keeps it very simple. They have one plan and one plan only, and it's a level benefit whole life plan. Either the client qualifies for the plan or they don't. There isn't any guesswork. The minimum face amount is $5,000 going up to $30,000, and the issue ages are 50 to 85. One of the nice things and one of the enhancements that Oxford did last year is they have a different application where you get decisions in under 60 seconds. You can do it electronically, where it is done, everything is done electronically, electronic signatures, all of that good stuff, or you can do the phone interview with the client where they talk to an underwriter. Decisions are still rendered at the point of sale. Either the client qualifies for the plan or they don't. So they have an online application, and they also have a phone application that you would have a worksheet and you would fill out the paper version and then do the phone call. Either way, it's available. It's not one or the other. It's your choice. Commissions are paid daily, so when the client's policy goes in force within 24 hours, you will see your commission in your checking account, and there are no prescription drug knockouts. So they're looking at the MIB, they're looking at the application questions and how the client answers those questions, but they don't have prescription drugs that are going to necessarily kick somebody out of qualifying for one of their plans. So that is Oxford Life in a nutshell. Again, competitive rates, very simple to do business with them, and somebody that you really might want to consider if you don't already have them, someone that you might want to consider adding to your portfolio. Moving on to our sales tips for the month of February, closing phrases. Now, when you're talking to somebody and you're going over different plans, understand that from the consumer's perspective, there are so many different plans, they don't know which end is up. So some ways to put your client at ease about the plan that you're recommending. Now, this is where you sometimes have to get a little salesy. So the first phrase that you might want to add to your closing is, this is the exact same plan I sold my parents. You may or may not have sold that to your parents, but it just basically gives the client the assurance that if it's good enough for your mom or your dad, then it's good enough for me. The next one, my wife or my husband has this exact same plan. Again, when you're talking to somebody about that particular plan that you're recommending, whether you've sold them that or not, this again gives the client the assurance that if it's good enough for your spouse, it's good enough for me. And then lastly, I have the same plan to protect my family. It's just something that, again, whether you do or don't, just another way to give the client some assurances that out of all the companies that are out there, you're recommending the same plan that's good enough for you. It's good enough for me. Another sales tips for the month of February, the 7 tips on how to survive in sales. Everybody that's on this call today, I know you're probably all involved in sales. Sales can be extremely lonely, and here are just some ways to survive in the sales marketplace. And this came from a website called sellingpower.com. It's success strategies for sales management. The first one is accept where you are. We all have different, we all come from different places, and we all are trying to achieve different goals. Accept where you are, and then have some goals as to where you want to go. So if you are brand new to the business, that's okay. We all had to start somewhere. I can help you with getting started. If you have any peers or mentors in this business, they can help you as well. Accept where you are and know that where you are right now is not where you're going to end up. Number 2, dare to dream outrageous terms. If if your goal is to do $250,000 in final expense business, or maybe you're semi-retired and you just want to have a little nest egg there, or something that's going to pay greens fees, or whatever it is, whatever your dreams are, dream them, make them outrageous, and strive to work towards those terms. Number 3, don't dwell on defeat. I think we all get into this rut from time to time, especially in the life insurance business, where either the client tells us no, or the underwriter gives us an underwriting decision that we did not like, and we kind of dwell on it, and we kind of stew on it. Accept it. Again, that's where you accept where you are, and let's move on to the next one. Number 4, use motivational resources. For me, I like to do some reading, and I like to read different things on how to motivate myself, on how I can improve what I'm doing, whether it is reading somebody's biography on how they got to where they are, whatever it is. Use motivational resources to kind of help you survive in sales, whatever motivation you need. Number 5, stay committed to career goals. Goals need to be written down. If you have a dry erase board in your home office, or in your own office that you go, a physical office, or even on a pad of paper or whatever, stay committed to those career goals. Number 6, don't let setbacks control you. We're going to run into resistance. We are going to run into setbacks. Don't let it control you. When you partner with an IMO, this is where we help minimize those setbacks. That's how we earn our paycheck, so that you can dream those outrageous terms, and you can stay committed to those career goals. And number 7, never be intimidated. You are as good as anybody else, and there's always going to be somebody that is better than you, better looking than you, maybe they do more sales than you, or whatever. Don't be intimidated by that, because they were in the exact same place that you are in right now. So those are the 7 tips to survive in sales that came from sellingpower.com, Success Strategies for Sales Management. So as we're talking about working hard, getting leads, looking at different carriers, you can work hard and you can also play hard too. One of the nice things about the final expense marketplace is that a lot of the carriers have some nice reward trips or incentive trips that coincide with your final expense production. So here's just a list of some of the carriers and their trips. A couple of companies have yet to announce their trips, but here we have Assurant going to St. Martin, Foresters, Vienna, and Prague. It's all in one trip. KSKJ, that's supposed to say 2021. They're going to Curacao, all inclusive, $40,000 just to qualify for that trip. They do have different tiers. So if you did $40,000, you and a guest get to go. If you do $70,000, you and a guest get to go for a week. $100,000 is VIP treatment, first class airfare, all that. So that's KSKJ Life. Liberty Bankers hasn't announced it yet. Mutual of Omaha is Maui. Occidental Life is Buenos Aires. Royal Neighbors is going to the Bahamas. Transamerica is Montego Bay. If you want additional details on any of these trips, please let me know, and I will do some research to find out what it takes to qualify for each of these carriers. So in addition to that, we also have our leap year final expense bonus. 2020 is a leap year, so we are doing our leap year final expense bonus, and we're going to give you an extra $100 for 4 paid final expense applications, $200 for 8 paid final expense applications, $250 for 10, $500 for 20. The contest started at the middle of January, and that's going to run through the end of March. Just like the Fresh Start bonus, we will have a $500 minimum annualized premium requirement. This coincides with final expense sales. It does not go towards guaranteed issue. The bonuses will be awarded by the middle of April. And you can use the bonuses to be applied towards your purchase of leads, or you can just take it as financial compensation. So that is our leap year final expense bonus. And if you need more training, mark your calendars for a week from tomorrow, February 11th, 2020. We have final expense sales for beginners, and that's going to be it's going to start 10:30 Eastern time. We've blocked out an hour, but it probably won't take an hour, maybe about 45 minutes or so. So it's final expense sales for beginners. If you're brand new to final expense sales, or you're considering getting into final expense sales, this is where you will get all of your questions answered. We'll help you with selecting your companies, to how to market it, how to complete an application, how to order leads. We're going to get into all of that. So that you can register for that through our website. Again, it is February 11th, 2020 at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So that's final expense sales for beginners. If you're brand new, this is a great opportunity to do that. And lastly, but certainly not least, this is where we want to hear from you. You can ask any questions that you have regarding final expense. If you've had any challenges, what are your challenges? If you've had some successes, I like to hear the good news as well. If you're ordering leads, how are they working out for you? And if you are on the fence about trying final expense, what can I do to help you give it a try? So this is your opportunity to ask those questions. Again, if you don't want to do it in this forum, you can certainly contact me. My direct line is 717-216-8041, or my toll-free number is 800-926-8875, extension 141, and my email address is also there as well. So if there are any questions, feel free to type those questions, and I'll get those questions answered for you. And just another thing, too, is normally, like I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we do our monthly Monday, the first working Monday of every month. We are not going to be doing one in the month of March. I will be out of town, so I will not be able to do that. But that is where we are right now. So we will resume that the first working Monday in the month of April. But of course, if you do have questions or need anything in between now and that time, I'm here to help you with that. So what can I do to help you get it a try? What can I do to help you be successful in final expense? That's my job. So give me a call with that. I'm not seeing any questions coming in at this time. So again, I appreciate everybody's time today. Feel free to give me a call. Look forward to speaking with you and working with you on your next life case. Hope everybody had a good day, or hope everybody has a good day today. And we will talk to you all very soon. Until next time, take care, everybody.